the way we perceive our lives, the way we perceive the things around us, the way that we believe affects us in so many ways. And one example I often tell people in crisis when it comes to shifting the way that we perceive and the things that we believe is road rage. Like when I used to get so angry when someone would just cut me off or like get in front of me and then slow down. You know, any number of things would annoy me or piss me off. And one in particular is like when people would be going tailgating me and then like um, just be rude and basically be an asshole. That used to really get me angry, and I'd slow down and or do something that would just like screw them. But then it was miserable, because it happens in life, and I don't want to be an angry person and get all pissed off. So one of the things I did was shift my belief. Like, so when someone would tailgate me and push up on me because they wanted to pass, instead of me perceiving and believing that they're just being rude or being assholes. Instead of that, I would just tell myself, look, they probably have diarrhea, or their kids or someone they love is at the hospital and they're just needing to get by me. It has nothing to do with me. And so that little shift in perspective, just the way that I shifted the perspective a little bit, totally changed my experience of someone tailgating, pushing on me, or like, people zooming by. Because now instead of me getting angry, it's actually like, oh, that sucks, or feeling a little empathy and sympathy towards them. You're like, oh, all right, yeah, I'll let you by. You got to you got to go use the bathroom, or you got to get to the hospital to see your loved one. And so that's an example of a way that just changing our perspective, our thoughts on something, changing our beliefs. Like for instance, when it comes to beliefs, many of us, myself included, have harbored really negative beliefs about myself, that I can't do something or I can't change. And so the more that I would have these thoughts, the more, it's like almost self-fulfilling prophecy, in the sense that, just reality kind of shaped itself to the way that I believe and perceive it. And so even in the beginning, when it comes to changing beliefs, sometimes, especially in my experience, sometimes it feels superficial and fake. Like that it's not going to make a difference, or it's not real. Like when I'm trying to have positive self-talk, which is I'll talk about in another video. I'll have it linked up to this one. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not easy. I mean, it seems easy and I can do it, but then I don't really believe in it, or I don't really put much effort into it, and so it really doesn't have any positive effect. It's something that we have to be consistent. We have to actually work towards um, changing these thoughts. Like if we see this negative thinking, we got to replace it with some form of positive thinking. And it takes some time. Change is not something that just happens overnight. I know people would like to think that, but in reality, it takes time. There's a belief that it takes about a month for us to really change a behavior, and I've experienced that in my life, where I work with rune movements, and um, there were certain movements I was doing wrong, and so then when I figured out the right way to do it, like I would just catch myself doing it the wrong way, and then slowly, like, I'd catch myself in the midst of it, and so then I'd shift it, and then eventually got to that point where it was just habit. Now I had changed this behavior. You can change thoughts the same way. You can change the way that you perceive yourself, beliefs in the same way. It just takes concerted effort. Make the effort, pay attention, and not get down on yourself when you fail and when you don't do it. Just remind yourself, bring yourself, so that every time that you get to that place where you start to have a negative thought or a negative belief, you recognize it in the moment, and then that's the time. You're like, okay, replace. What's the opposite, or something positive. So yeah, so make the effort. You know, when you know, especially with depression and anxiety and fears, your phobias, things that are perpetuated over time and that build and become more solidified and then real. You know, it's gonna take effort, but just trust in yourself, believe in yourself, and go through the process. Push through that sense of fakeness, or you're not able to do it. Just go through the motions. Keep working on it. Keep shifting. Keep changing until it just becomes a habit, and then you'll see that that shift, like my example with the aggro drivers that are tailgating, that shift totally changed my experience of this same exact thing going on, right? Before I was angry, now I feel bad for this person and like, okay, go, keep going, you know, and it totally changes it. And that affects my whole day. So yeah, so I encourage you to make the effort when you especially when you notice yourself perpetuating a behavior or a pattern or a habit that you want to shift because it's not serving you, it's actually depleting you or harming you or you know, just making life not as joyful and happy as can be. Yeah. So